Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now, welcome to the second video of the day. Now, the title might be alarming to some people, so the first thing I want to say is don't panic. The title is what we're going to be talking about today, but it's not like it's not black and white. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, and what I would suggest is waiting till the end of the video before you comment, because I imagine there's going to be some people furiously typing right now going, "No, you're an idiot, blah, blah, blah." So the question that we're going to be talking about today is, should one-tricking be punishable / bannable? Now, the reason why we're talking about this is another game called Overwatch. I'm sure most of you heard of Overwatch. They're currently talking about it. They're currently going through it at the moment because of some stuff that has recently happened. Now, I am fairly read up on what's happened, and it's not as simple as all one-trick should get banned and that type of thing. The problem with it is basically... I'll explain the situations in detail, but basically it's a product of one-tricking that is a problem. It's not one-tricking itself, it's a product of it. So basically what's happened in Overwatch is two one-tricks of a hero called Torbjorn have recently got banned. Both of them have been banned for slightly different reasons. There are different bans as well that some of them have got in the past, which we'll also talk about. But the base premise is majority of the games that they play, they are getting reported by majority of their teammates. So that is, again, another counter that a lot of people put. Is like, oh, why is Blizzard banning one-tricks? Or why is Blizzard not letting these people what they play? It's actually the amount of reports that they're getting is what's banning them. So it means the community is wanting these players banned. It's not necessarily Blizzard. From me recording this, Blizzard haven't come out with an official announcement of what's going to happen because the Overwatch community is asking for an official statement. So, what happened, and again, we will make links to League of Legends a little bit later, but I thought I'd explain what's happening in Overwatch first so you can kind of get a general idea. Because it's similar, you know, there's heroes in the game, and some people only enjoy playing one thing, or they're only good at one thing, so that's generally all they play. It's the same with League of Legends. So in Overwatch, there is a champion called hero, it's the same thing, called Torbjorn. Now, Torbjorn is a defensive hero that builds a turret to defend things. It's a stationary turret. It doesn't move. The only way to move the turret is you demolish it and move it somewhere else. That takes quite a lot of time. The reason why I'm explaining that is because, as you could probably tell just by his basic definition, he is a defensive hero. He's not an attacking hero. He's very much a defensive hero. And Overwatch, like League of Legends, is very much a team-orientated game that team comps do matter quite a lot. You know, it's hard, especially the higher rating you go, and some of this Torbjorn player that they're kind of higher rated, it's probably hard to win with a bad team comp. And what the problem is these two one-tricks, or especially one of them apparently, is very much unwilling to adapt. That they only play Torbjorn, that's it, there's no if, buts, or maybes, that's all they play, end of. And it's basically forcing losses where it could be wins, or just dampening the play experience for 5 other people. Now, you have to remember, Overwatch, if I'm not mistaken, is a 6-player co-op game, PvP. So for him wanting to play his hero, Torbjorn, he's worsening the experience of 5 other people. Because, again, reminding people, the reason that these people are getting punished and banned is because the majority of their games, they are getting reported by majority of their teammates. That's crazy, right? Like, just think of it. In majority of games, you're getting reported majority of the time by most people on your team. That's a message right there of these people... unfortunately don't have the team spirit. Now, there are some counters to this, and I will, again, someone that is good at discussions always kind of talks about the other side as well. So the other side that most likely someone's going to type right now is, he bought Overwatch, he's entitled to play the champion he wants. And I agree, that is very much a point if he wasn't in competitive. And that's where the counter to it was. So when you go into competitive, you're basically signing up that this is a team game. You're playing as a team to win. It's not a solo game. It's not a 1v1. It's a team game. And for him buying Overwatch and playing only Torbjorn, he is worsening the experience of 5 other people that have bought Overwatch. So to Blizzard, the company that make the game, what would they rather have? One happy person that gets to play the hero whatever they want and no punishments, and 5 unhappy people? or one unhappy person and 5 have happy people. Like, it's a no-brainer. Like, no matter which way you flip the coin, it's always going to go with the majority. It's a democracy, right? That's just the way that it works. So that's the basics of what's going on. And I thought, well, let's just explain another point that kind of happened, because again, there's different updates and there's different stories emerging. One of the bans that was issued a little while back to one of these Torbjorn one-tricks, and again, this could happen in League of Legends, I just want to make that clear. I'm going to give you an example with League in a little bit. But he was only playing Torbjorn, obviously, on a map that is arguably the worst map for the hero. In his own words, he said it's the worst map for Torbjorn. His team was getting frustrated because when they were defending, where Torbjorn is supposedly supposed to be okay, they were getting countered. They basically just picked a team comp to counter Torbjorn because they knew this guy was only going to play Torbjorn. If you're unaware, in Overwatch, you can swap your hero mid-game. You're not in like League of Legends. You're not stuck for the whole game. It's a dynamic game. You can swap your hero, but because they knew he'd only play Torbjorn, they just picked a comp around beating that, and he was useless. There was nothing that they could do because it was basically a 5v6. But he was still unrelenting, was not changing, even though he literally was doing nothing. It was, I'm only playing Torbjorn, sorry guys. So what happened, which again is still technically in the rules, I don't think it's against the rules, is one of the people on the Torbjorn's team, when the sides got swapped, you have to reselect your hero. One of the other people on the Torbjorn's team took Torbjorn away from him, going, I'm going to play Torbjorn then. I'm going to see what it's about. I'm going to play him. You can play something else. And the guy flat out refused to pick anything. He basically was like, I only play Torbjorn. Sorry, I'm not picking another thing. You can pick another thing. And to avoid what he thought to avoid punishment, in Heroes, there is a system that if somebody doesn't pick a hero in time, they get timed out and they'll lose the ranked game, where the other people may not get as harsh punishment. They may not lose as much rating. But what he was doing, he was timing himself out and then reconnecting, timing himself out, then reconnecting, and never picking a hero, being really scumbag about it because he only played Torbjorn. Now, some people were like, well, yeah, he only plays Torbjorn, let the guy play Torbjorn. But the problem with this point is, what happens if there's another Torbjorn player or a Torbjorn one-trick that this person's with? What happens then? If there is a genuine person that's like, I only play Torbjorn as well, and you've got 2 people that only play Torbjorn, what happens to that guy that goes, I only play it? Does he troll? Does he leave? Does he do exactly what he just did? Like, that's the issue of this. And this is why I say one-tricking isn't the problem, because not all one-tricks are bad. Again, I don't know if I said it. I should have said it right at the beginning of the video. One-tricks on whole should not be banned. The product of one-tricking sometimes is the problem. When people get way too attached to their champion or hero is the problem. Like this Torbjorn. He's way too attached to the hero, so much so to the point if someone else wanted to play it, he would troll or he would, you know, just simply not play and cause them to lose. That's the issue. That's one of the issues anyway. So another point that's circulating at the moment, and again, it's kind of being dealt with, but people are like, what happens if it was a Soldier 76 one-trick, or a different hero that's a little bit more generic, that's both good on attack and defense? They wouldn't get punished. And that's the point, no, because they're picking a hero that is adaptable, that is changeable. If you're one-tricking something like a Torbjorn, you know yourself you're only good on defense, and not really if they counterpick you. And if you're continuing to do that one thing, you are going to be a problem. You're going to be an issue. So what I'm going to do now, so there's just the general information. We spent quite a while explaining it, but I definitely wanted people to know what's going on. But the other thing what I want to do is put it to a League of Legends situation, because obviously my audience is League. Half of you probably don't even play Overwatch, so you're probably like, I have no idea what, you know, Huz is talking about right now. So, one-tricks are fairly common in League of Legends. I'm fine with them. You know, I'm not a massive fan of them, as people know. I don't recommend people to do it. But if you want a one-trick, if you want to play the game your way, that's completely fine. But there is a limit. You know, I'm sure we all can agree there is a limit. And this is where the Torbjorn, these Torbjorns go over that limit. Is, for example, let's say you're a Kalista one-trick. You only play Kalista, that's all you're interested in. But you're given jungle. You're autofilled to jungle. What do? Do you troll and try to take someone's role, which does happen? They get punished because you can't do that. Do you play Kalista in the jungle? No, because Kalista isn't a jungler. You can't jungle. So what do? That's basically the equivalent to League of Legends, is that you're playing a hero in something that you shouldn't be playing it in, but because you one-trick it, you have to play it. Like, that's where you can kind of make the comparison. So would my question to you guys, if say there was a Kalista one trick that was given jungle and she just jungled and did terribly, would you report her? And I'm going to say I would. 100% I would. I'm not ashamed to say that, because to me that is kind of trolling. And that is where, like, I put on Twitter yesterday, I just said it as a joke. It was a joke. Some people took it a little bit too literally. Some people get very triggered about this type of thing. But one person that I've respected in the past and stuff like that is Dark Tongo. He used to be a YouTuber. He's not really doing it that much anymore. But he used to, from memory, be a Lee Sin one trick. And he was like, no, they shouldn't. But then we talked a little bit. And then he understood my point a bit more. And then he actually agreed with my point of it's not one tricking that's the issue. If you're a flexible one trick, all power to you. You're probably going to do pretty well. The best example I can give of that is AnnieBot. People know him as Jared. He's a streamer, plays with Cutie Pie, Scara, those type of people occasionally. His literal name is AnnieBot. He wants to play Annie whenever he can. He's got Challenger in the past for playing Annie. But will he play Annie if he's given AD carry? No. Will he play Annie if he's given jungle? No. He will adapt. And this is where you can draw the comparison with Overwatch of... Sure, it's not a perfect comparison because League doesn't really have the attack and defend game mode type things, but the equivalent is AnnieBot would not play AD carry Annie. Torbjorn, this person who plays Torbjorn, would just go AD carry as Torbjorn. That's the example, right? So that's where you kind of have to go, what would you say? What's your opinion on it? What do you think? I'm genuinely interested. Again, this video was not in a place of like trying to go, yes, they all should be banned, because I don't think they should. This is a thing of discussion of what's the limit. You know, again, these reports that these Torbjorn players are getting banned isn't Blizzard going, you can't do that. It's the players, the community reporting the majority of their games, and they just get reported so much because of what they're doing, the system just is going to ban them. So it's interesting. Again, you want everybody to enjoy their video game. I'm not saying, you know, you don't want people to enjoy. But it is a little bit on the fence about me. If you're playing a game with so many heroes in Overwatch or so many champions in League and you only play one thing, like, how much do you enjoy the game? Like, what happens if that... I've said it in the past, if that champion or hero gets updated, do you just stop playing the game then because it's not your hero anymore? This is where, you know, it's kind of weird to me. And again, another comparison that you can make is if... We've seen it in League before. If somebody in Champion Select is going... Like, say they have a name, I don't know, Draven only, and they're given top lane, will they play Draven in top lane? But what happens if the person that's actually given AD carry wants to play Draven in AD carry? What happens then? Does the Draven play Draven top and troll? Or does he give the person Draven in bot lane and he plays an actual top laner? This is all stuff that is kind of comparisons and going back and forth. It's going to be really interesting what the outcome to this is. And my general opinion, I've given little snippets of my opinion. It's, again, I don't think one-tricking should be punishable. I don't think it should be bannable. But there is a limit to it. And that limit isn't one-tricking, it's trolling. Like, that's basically it. There's a limit of when you are one trick, and it's one trick, and then it turns into trolling when it's just simply going against the ethics of the game. Of it's a team game, you're all trying to win, and, you know, you're trying to adapt and kind of help each other out. And if there's a one trick that is just not interested in teamwork, that is just only caring about themselves and their one thing, that's the limit of where I'd say that is where it's punishable. It's that you're too much into just yourself and just your hero to the sake that you're basically trolling your team. So that's basically it. That's what I'd say. Again, hopefully, I will say this is kind of a spicy topic. Again, no problems with people one-tricking. There's just a limit to it. In the comment section below, I want to see good discussions about this, but let's please be adults about it. You know, we don't want to offend people. I've not offended one-tricks. I think it's perfectly fine to do so. Again, I wouldn't recommend it, but I understand why people do it. But what do you think? Do you think they should be just flat out punished? Do you think it should be a thing? Do you agree with me that it's okay to do, but there's a limit? Or do you think that, no, just let them be, let them play whatever they want in any role, that's fine? You know, those are the kind of three different ways you can kind of go here. Or if you can come up with a new different way, feel free to say that as well. Anyway, I'm really interested to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you like it. It does help out the channel, and also I enjoy doing these discussion videos because interaction for me is like one of the best things about YouTube. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, try a like on it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time.